Lucky Belafonte wants to talk about the game tonight. Lions-Giants. I thought we were talking about the Lions, but I guess that wasn't good enough for Lucky. So as I say, sometimes I'll let the fans program the show.
Yeah.
And so that's where we are. And Spenny, in a minute, we're going to talk about what you want to see out of the defensive line. But D-Mac, let's just start with the basics, okay? The rookie class. Terrion Arnold, Rakestraw, the entire rookie class, D-Mac. Take me back. Your first exhibition game that you played as a professional athlete. What's going through their mind? Let's do this for Lucky. Break it. Go back in your mind to that day and tell Lucky what's going through those rookies' minds for both sides.
Dude, there's going to be, and it's not mistakes, but the excitement. Like, there's going to be the moments of, the crowd, the building, the fact that you're on the field or the ice with guys that you've idolized and looked up to and watched and stuff like this. But the thing is that it goes back to preparation. Once the puck drops and stuff, you get that initial, warm-ups or whatever else. The fact is that you just got to go out and play the game. I used to tell Aaron Ward this all the time. Same game as when you're 5 years old. The guys are just bigger and faster, right? So you got to adjust. So the old KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Worry about yourself. That's what the coaches are telling these guys right now. Execute what you are responsible for. Don't do somebody else's job for you. And then you go out, and for me or for anybody else that plays physical, you're looking to get that first hit or altercation or whatever immediately, because then you're into the game. You got to get yourself into the game.
You go seek it out?
Yes, absolutely. First game, and it's usually a hit or contact or chirp or face off, depending on how the game goes. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a fight. Sometimes it would end up that way, but you're looking to lay the body and set the tone and get yourself into the game.
What about for a guy like Mekhi Wingo, who played at LSU, the bright lights, the intensity? He's a little more used to this, I think, on a level than like Giovanni Manu would be if he were going to be out there or anything like that. Does it maybe trigger something for him? Because he's a guy that's probably going to play a lot, defensive line spot. Yeah. I've always thought that the guys that went to big-time schools that play later on, that get picked later on in the draft, just something about when they get out there on that big stage.
There's a maturity, right? That they've been in that spot before. Or if you've played, name all the stadiums, even to the Michigan kids, to whatever like this. So you've played in front of it and you know how you're going to react, right? A lot of guys, it's sort of, they get so hyped that it takes them early out of their game. They do something that they wouldn't usually do, right? And that's undisciplined, or it's trying to do too much. So I think you're right to that. I think it's different for everybody, but you have, it goes back to the kicker conversation, right? It goes how quickly is he going to be comfortable being uncomfortable? And that goes to all the young guys. That's what it is. You just embrace it and then say this is. But this, to your fact of the guys that have been in front of it, then they're not even thinking about the crowd, right? I'm coming from a small school or draft, whatever like this. It's going to be, I know it's going to hit me, so I have to be there to embrace it, to see how I react. Don't hide from it. Embrace it. And maybe some of these veteran guys that have played at the schools, that have played around crowds, that are used to it, can give some advice.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Mike G. Lucky, let's talk swim moves and bull rushes.
You're right.
That's next. That's next on the checklist. I bring in Spencer Raxter now to the party. Spenmo, the defensive line, is what you were about. It's where you live.
It is.
Break it down here tonight. Take me inside. Take me inside the technique you want to see, the philosophy that you want to see between the what. Look, for the Detroit Lions, what's it going to take to start to get Super Bowl ready tonight? What technique do you want?
This is a new era of Detroit Lions defensive line. When you look at a guy in Terrell Williams who is brought in here, said to be one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL, he's going to be establishing things early. I'd like to see Levi Onwuzurike get snaps both inside and outside. I'd like to see Broderick Martin in there moving people around, keeping his pad level low, and making sure he doesn't get pushed off the line. The Matthew Betts situation, the James Houston situation, I want to see James Houston out there in obvious run plays because we know what he can do when it comes to sacking the quarterback, but how does he contain the edge? How does he get off against the tackles and make sure to keep that running back in his lanes so the linebackers can scrape down and clean up? There are a lot of different things I need to see on this defensive line. There are a lot of players.
And it starts tonight.
Everything starts tonight. This either makes or breaks your year is this first snap of the first exhibition game.
There's no doubt about it. And look, for as complicated as the game can be, where we get into defensive and offensive philosophies, schematics, formations, all of it, it all comes back to pad level, doesn't it, Spenny?
It does.
It really does.
It does. Low man wins. That is the first truth of playing line in football. The first thing any offensive or defensive line coach will tell you is that low man wins.
Facts.
And when you are Broderick Martin, when you are 6'6", 360 pounds, it's hard to keep your pad level low, but that's what you need to do because these guards will blow you up and you'll be on your back before you can do anything.
KG, Let's Go Red Wing Sparty in the chat. Is tonight a must-win? They're all must-wins, aren't they?
You damn right. The road to the Super Bowl starts tonight. You damn right it's a must-win, man.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to come out and set the tone for the season because I think what Lucky's looking for is in-depth breakdown like that. Like
Yeah, I know.
It sets the tone for the season tonight. Broder, B6 is elite. Yes, he is.
I do what I can.
Broder said that went from a joke to some really good analysis.
I appreciate it.
Well, this is where he lives.
That's where I live.
He's our defensive line insider.
My favorite thing to do of all time.
Love learning about pad level.
Defensive tackle is the best spot in football.
Steve Wild, Spencer carries this show. When we're talking defensive line, he certainly does.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. Is this okay, Lucky? Like, are we doing well? Let me step out of it. Tonight, D-Mac, in East Rutherford, New Jersey, home of the Meadowlands and the New Jersey Giants. Cloudy with periods of rain, low near 70, winds out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now,
it's not good kicking weather.
This is on me. I don't know, in terms of direction in the stadium, what an east-southeast wind at, the new Meadowlands Stadium. That I do not know.
Yeah.
I'll have to rely. Maybe if Maz is watching right now, he can text it. Chance of rain, 70%. Rainfall around 1/4 of an inch.
Oh, wow.
So bet accordingly. Does that impact your overstate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very wet, man. So I don't know. Pause.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that definitely affects. I'm more worried about the kicking situation now, to be honest with you, because that's the big knock on Jake Bates. Can he kick outdoors? So
Lucky Belafonte. Levi O is all hype. He won't show up in the regular season.
well, we got to see.
Well, that's why we play the games, Lucky. That's why we're breaking them down right now. Spenny, going back to you because it's your lane. Levi Onwuzurike. His future as a Detroit Lion is decided tonight.
His future as a Detroit Lion either makes it or breaks it. But realistically, Levi Onwuzurike is a guy who his future was up in the air last year, 2 years ago. Because if you suffer a back injury as a defensive lineman, a guy who's 300-plus pounds and relies on torque and quick twitch things that you do on the defensive line, it's tough to come back from. All accounts are he's looking like an absolute menace at camp. He's playing inside, getting a lot of snaps opposite of Aiden Hutchinson at defensive end. So we're going to see Levi Onwuzurike, whether he is worth that second-round draft grade, that second-round draft pick that Brad Holmes took him in. And that was the hype around him, was his pass rushing aptitude, and what he can do getting to the quarterback is why he was taken so high. So if he's healthy, I'm excited for him.
Tyler M., the tone on this show is killing me right now. I'm in tears. D-Mac, is this tone right now?
Well, I think Broder brought up it was all tone, and then Spenny brought it to a different, where it's mixed in with reality.
Yeah.
So Spenny sort of took the tone out. You, sir, no, it's light tone. This would be yacht rock tone.
Yeah.
It's yacht rock
Love
tone.
some yacht
right
rock.
Yeah.
I do
Right?
too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Low
It's yacht
key.
rock tone. It got off before the commercial. It was a little greasy.
Yeah.
Tone.
There was a lot of greasy.
But it was good.
Mike G says, low girl wins, just ask Tina.
That is true.
That is big facts.
You are also our insider for that as well.
That's
Pause.
fair. That is fair.
Okay. D-Mac, we also have some questions for you. People want you, and I had it and I just lost it, so I forget who it was, but, my apologies for that. People want you to rate Kirby Joseph's combo ability when throwing punches.
Oh, good. Proud of him.
Hand
Good.
speed.
Absolutely. Hands were up. He used both hands usually. You can tell the dexterity of a guy, right? He's going to piece you up with both of them.
Yeah.
Not just, a lot of times in these fights, you just see guys slugging. Now, I brought it up the other day. Football fights are some of the stupidest ones. I mean,
of course.
if you're going to just grab the face mask and torch the guy's head instead of punching. But if you watch where Kirby, underneath. He was piecing him underneath.
He worked the inside.
I think he worked the inside, so I wasn't worried about him hurting his hands. I think that he's, somebody would ask, he's spent some time around a boxer or in the ring. But I thought it was, and the way he reacted after getting, like, what a cheap shot to the head. And just to walk in there and sort of, it's tough going straight at somebody and piecing them up. It's a lot easier when somebody's coming to you. So
he set the tone.
Hats off, 9.5 out of 10.
All right, there's that. Steve Wilds, the only insight Neil can provide is the weather report. Sounds about right. And the only input Steve Wilds can provide in the chat room is something about the weather. That also sounds about right, Steve.
Big facts.
Tell me, Steve, give me your breakdown. We got about 20 seconds for this to process to you.
Steve?
Steve, go ahead. Give me your breakdown. Steve, what are you looking for tonight? I look for the same thing I always look for. Everyone just stay healthy and keep it moving.
Steve.
The preseason games are a cash grab, dude. It's what they are.
Steven.
They're not necessary, Steven. There's nothing going on in this preseason game. Sean was with me last week and said, there is no more oversold thing about preseason football than, quote, jobs are on the line. That's a ploy to get you to watch the game because you actually think that. People like Steve Wilds that are incapable of independent thought, they know what the depth chart is.
Yeah.
You think they get that from a game? You think like a big play in a game when they watch them fucking up on the field in practice all week is going to like save them?
Right.
No, Steve. You tell me your breakdown, Steve. I await it.
Steve, I do want to ask you, since we're kind of on the Tonish, train here. How do you think the referees will call the game? We have a lot of new things instituted. The new kickoff, the drop tackle rule.
That is true.
How do you think the refs will?
Well, just remember too, it's preseason for the officials as well. They got to get in a groove.
Yeah, which means a lot of flags.
Because this is the first time. Because I'm sure this is the first time tonight that they've even heard of the new rules, let alone like dealt with them and worked with them. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Steve, it's probably the first time, right, Steve? Yeah, that's what you got to do as a player. How they calling the game?
Hey, game's getting closer. Tones got turned up a little bit. So
yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
Like it.
We're excited, man. You can't get this analysis anywhere else.
Yes. But yeah. Steve Baffey, I want to see the young players develop and compete and stay healthy. That is all. I just want to see people stay healthy. That's literally all that
I don't even care about the competing part. Just stay healthy.
They compete enough all week in practice.
You're right.
Like this, again, this is just a thing. Lucky Belafonte, preseason doesn't matter until a guy the Lions need get injured. So you agree, Lucky? You want an in-depth breakdown of the game?
Right,
we gave it to you, and
matter.
now you just take a shit all over it. Wasted our time, Lucky. You wasted the viewers' time, more importantly.
Unlucky.
Man, Lucky.
Wasting our fucking time.